Hello everyone. In the previous session, we discussed about the function procedures, and today we will talk about the sub procedure. We know that VB provides two types of procedures. One is a function procedure, and second is sub procedure. So let's talk about the sub procedure today. So very first, what is sub procedure? So actually, sub procedure and function both are very similar. There is a very minor difference that we will see, but let's understand first sub procedure. So a sub procedure is a series or a group of statements, again series of a visual basic statements, right? And we remember, if you remember, function is nothing but the group of statements, right? We call it, and we enclose the statements by the sub and the end sub statements. So when you say sub and then some statements, and you need to write end sub. So this is the way you can write the sub procedure. Similar way, just like the function performs some specific task, sub procedure also perform some specific task, and then it returns the control to the calling code. It is similar with the function as well, right? So when function return something, or when it done with the execution, the control goes to the second statement or the continue statement. But function returns something, right? We can expect some value from the function when it comes back. But here, mind it that sub procedure does not return any value. That is important. So sub procedure is a similar, or it is same like the function, but sub procedure does not return any value. So this is the main difference. More we will see in the next slide, but yeah, this is about the sub procedure. Let's understand the concept of the procedure using this one example. So our example is to find the square root. Find the square root of the entered number, and we will use the function procedure for that, right? Okay, so here we have taken one text box, one command button, and one label, right? And what we are doing, whatever the value we enter in the text box, and then we will click on this button, it should print the square root of that entered number on this label. So this is the example. How to write the code using the function procedure, sub procedure? Let's see. So here we have a small code, actually very interesting example is very simple, but we will understand lots of things. We will learn lots of things in this example. So the very first, what we are going to learn through this code, first we will see the sub procedure and the function procedure. So both the things we are going to use in this example. Also we will learn how to call the function, how to pass the arguments, and how it returns the value. Also we will see these things. So let's understand this code, and yes, this code is for this example, right? We are just going to find the square root of entered number. So here we have taken one form, okay. Then here we have one command button, right? And on the click event of this command button, we need to write the code, whatever we want to perform. So button, I have not given the name actually. So button 1 and the click event of button 1. Okay, what we want to do, we want to find the square root, and whatever the answer we get, we want to print on this label, right? So see what we are doing here. we have created one function procedure named square root, right? Function procedure called square root, and we are passing the argument. We are passing the argument because this function is going to return something. I need to assign that value somewhere, and whatever this function will bring, it will be assigned to this label. It will be assigned to this label, right? So now when we will call this square root function, it will jump over here, and here we have that function. First you need to write the function is a keyword, then write down the name of the function, that is square underscore root is our function. Okay, what we are passing as an argument? Value. Okay, value of what? Value of text box text. Whatever the text is there in the text box 1, we will convert it into the value, and that value we will pass through this function. Okay, now this value, okay, it will be fetched by this variable val. It's a variable, and we have just mentioned the data type as double. Based on the data content, you can set the data type, right? And this function is going to return the double value or the data type double, right? Whatever the value it will return, it will have a double data type. So this is the declare function definition, and do not forget to close it. So this is end function. Okay, but what we are doing inside this function, that is most important thing, right? So what we are doing here, we are see this carefully. Math is an inbuilt library, and math is an object or the library math object dot sqrt is again the function, inbuilt function which comes from this math. And what we are doing, we want to find the square root of val. Val means this value, and this comes from this text box, right? So we'll fetch this value, then it will convert, or it will find the square root, and whatever the value this function will bring, it will be returned. Returned where? It will be returned over here, right? And once this portion will get this value, that value will be assigned to this label, right? So this is how actually the function and the sub procedure works. Now let's understand one more thing. So if you have noticed, see, first sub procedure. So where is sub procedure? This is your sub procedure, right? But click event of button is your sub procedure. We know that sub procedure never returns any value. Yeah, we are not getting anything here. Then function procedure. Okay, this is your function procedure, right? This is your function procedure. Then what we learn? Calling. How to call? So this is the calling. Then passing the argument. Okay, here we have pass the argument, right? This is passing the argument between the procedures. So this is your sub procedure, and this is your function. So we are just passing the arguments between procedures. Then at the end we are returning the value, right? We are returning the value, and here it is, we are returning the value, whatever we will get from this function, right? So this is about the sub procedure, function procedure, calling, passing argument, and the returning values. You can do this practical, you can perform this practical, and you will get a better idea that how actually it works, right? So it's all about the sub procedure.